Welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a great week with your students. My week was very, very, very busy. Definitely started off with a little bit of a rough start. I think you all know me by now. I'm very much an overachiever with the lessons that I plan for my kids, and I decided to do a unit menu in my honors class and a unit menu in my college prep chemistry class. And fortunately, it's on the same topic, so they're both doing the mole, but they're both doing different topics within the mole. So it's been a little bit of a hectic week trying to prepare both unit menus and then set up and break down all the different activities that I have. I'm trying to keep it all straight, but man, it was a rough week. I'm not gonna lie. I made it through, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the online review session stuff that I've been doing. So I started my online review sessions last year for the final exam. My students seemed really overwhelmed, and I wanted to have a review session for the kids in person, but there were a lot of issues with the kids being able to get to the review session. So maybe they couldn't be dropped off, or they couldn't be picked up, or they had other commitments. So what I opted to do was, number one, ask my kids, like, if I were to have an online review session, would you attend? And they all said yes, pretty much unanimously. And then I sent out a poll and I asked them, if you were to attend, what would be the best time for you? And so the students picked the time, and then I was able to go online and conduct my review session. Well, last week I had an issue. There was a large in-school field trip, and one of the days I was actually missing probably just about 80% of the students in my classes. Since I wouldn't be available for questions because they wouldn't be in class, I said I will do an online review session in preparation for their assessment. So I opted to use Google Meet, and it was a fantastic experience. The kids said they got a lot out of it, and they said they were really happy that I did it. So I thought what I could do is just talk about like how I set up my camera and like what it looks like, and how to go about doing something like this if you're interested in doing some online review sessions with your kids. So I'm in my colleague's classroom right now. This is where I did my online review session, and I wanted to just show you how I set up my computer and some tools that I use to do this. So because I use Google Meet for my online review sessions, I have to use my computer that's distributed from the school district that I'm at. So what I do is I take my computer and I prop it on something so that I can expose whatever is on the board a lot more easily, and the students can see it all. So I find that this mole box, believe it or not, is just the perfect size for this. So I just put the box down, I take my computer, prop it up, and then I can move the screen back and forth to decide like how much I want to be able to see, and then what I do too sometimes is I'll put like a line to show like where I should stop writing or start writing so that the kids can see everything, so I don't have to kind of move my computer all around. The other thing that I use is a special microphone because, and this one is special because it has a really long cord. So I like this because it has a really long cord, so that means that while I'm talking, right, this is plugged in. It's really simple. You just plug this bad boy in, and then I can clip it to myself, and then I can be writing on the board with this microphone clipped to me, so it's not like I'm tied to, being close to the computer because the sound isn't so great. So this, I don't remember, well, I know I got this from Amazon. I don't remember how much it was. I want to say it was pretty inexpensive. It was probably under $20. I'll look back at my purchases and I'll link it if you're interested. But this is a really good mic. The kids said the sound is great from it. They can hear me just fine. And like I said, you want to get something with a large cord so that if you are kind of moving away from the area, your kids are able to hear you. When you're ready to go to use Google Meet, you want to go to meet.google.com, and then you'll go to join or start a meeting. And then I'm just going to leave this as sample, and then click continue. And then you can see it says camera is starting, and here I am, hi. And then you can click join now. So this would be the meeting information. I sent my students the URL just via email, but you can also, of course, add people as well. So this is what it looks like. I obviously would have this on the box that I showed you before, and it would be kind of up against the whiteboard so that everybody would be able to see, but you can see it's pretty good quality. I am actually using the microphone that I was talking about before, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I think like I said, I think it really served a great purpose, and the kids said it was pretty crisp to hear me. So this is what it looks like now. You can, of course, disable your camera. So for example, if you click down here, you can turn it off. There I am. You can also turn off your sound. You can hang up. So there's a lot of different options. You can turn on captions. I have not used them before. Oh, it actually works pretty well, it seems. So this would be something that you can use. I'm going to turn that off though, because I think it might be distracting. And then you can also change the view. So like, for example, right now, this is me on cam, but you can also present like what's on your screen. And so that's where you'd go present now. It would say your entire screen or a specific window. And then this will give you some more options. You can make it full screen, so that looks pretty good if you wanted to be able to see things better. The only thing about the full screen is I don't think you can see the chat. Let me see, is that true? Oh no, it does come up. Okay, so that's actually not bad. So I used the chat when I was talking with my students, and so I did not have it on full screen though, so I'm actually going to get out of that. Let's see what other options do we have here. So we talked about the captions. There's some other settings, but yeah, for the most part, I really like being able to click on the chat. The only thing is sometimes as the the online review session progressed, the chat would sometimes disappear. I don't know if it's just Google set it that way, but it would just disappear for whatever reason. You can check to see who is at the meeting, so you can actually see them right on the screen. And like I said, you can kind of kick people out if they don't belong in there. Now, obviously, there's nobody else in here, so I'm not able to kick anybody out, but you do have that option. And so that's pretty much what Google Meet looks like. It's very simple, very easy to use, and like I said, very effective for online review sessions. So you can definitely see that Google Meet is a really simple yet effective tool for connecting with your students outside of the classroom. But as I mentioned before, I would make sure that this is right in alignment with your technology acceptable use policy. So you might want to double check with your supervisor, whether it be your immediate supervisor or the supervisor of technology, just to make sure that you're not breaking like any policies for the Board of Ed or anything like that. For me, when I first started doing this, I did go right down to the technology department, and I wanted to make sure that this would be appropriate and this was an acceptable use of technology. So I immediately submitted the poll to my kids, and we got rolling on it. Either way, I hope you got something out of this video on how I connect with my students online, and hopefully you've had some inspiration for things that maybe you could use this for. And if you do end up using this, I'd love to know how you use it and what you're doing with your classes. So feel free to leave a comment down below. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I will definitely talk to you next week.